What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all new episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let's get into it. So we pick off in the telenovela with Amara and her mom about how I'm sorry I didn't live the life the way that you wanted me to. I'm sorry. So just not happy that that Amara wants to stay in the DR with her husband. No, her husband, with Alan, and pretty much throwing her career away for him. All the success that you've done for him. And of course, she says she's tiredly constantly putting her career first instead of doing what she wants to do, which is falling in love and living her life. And then her mom say, I will do all this for you, but would you do this for me? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm meshing. So Amara is definitely taking in what her mother said the night before, the same night, about how you're gonna do all of this for him, but will he do it for you? So she asks him, what my mom said really, really struck a nerve. Would you really up and root yourself for me if I do something for you? He said, of course I would. I'll do anything for you. So she's in the confessional saying how Alan cannot possibly move his life away. He cannot possibly move to Miami with me because he has his businesses. He has his mom, he has his family. He has a daughter. So it makes sense for her to move and not him to move. I felt like, no. You have a lot riding back home too, Amara. You have a lot. It's not just your mom. You have a career. You have a business. You have a life still out there in Miami. So it is not fair for him to tell you to drop everything to be there for him. But he's not even thinking of trying with you. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So now her mom wants to have a private conversation and said, I'm sorry. I'm frustrated. You said you sacrificed yourself to get to where you're at, and you put your life on the line and to make yourself a brand. So her mom felt like she's forgotten who she was. You think I've forgotten about Amara La Negra? I have not forgotten about Amara La Negra. I'm not dying. Okay? She said Amara La Negra is an artist. But I'm always going to be Amara La Negra. I just don't want to have to be Amara La Negra, the workaholic right now. Can I just be Amara right now? Like, I'm tired. I want to take a break. She said, no, you didn't want to take a break until you found love. And you did not get tired until you found love. She said, I also have the right to fall in love. I'm not a working machine. I can't always work. I need break. I deserve to be happy. Every time I try to do something, you make me feel guilty about it. And I have to tell you I'm sorry and change my mind. And in the midst of all the pressure that her mom put on herself, put on her growing up, Amara became bulimic. At the age of 14 and 15, she was hospitalized on 2 occasions, and it was due to her trying to fit in into America's society of beauty, being fit, being nice looking, beauty, all that type of stuff, hair, and she became bulimic. She says she's can't say that she hasn't still struggled with it, but she's not completely healed. And I've seen Amara's weight loss journey. She looked amazing, but I would hate that she had to go back to that dark place. And it does suck when you're trying to fit yourself to be this type of mold for other people, especially for the entertainment industry who want you to look a certain way. That's really hard to put on somebody. And Amara has been working since she was 4. So she never really had a childhood. She never had friends. And she just said it. I've worked since I was 4. I don't have a good childhood. I don't have friends. And the minute then I know that I'm not gonna be Beyonce. Her mom said you don't have to be Beyonce. You don't even have to remember your career as Beyonce. I just want you to be a success. That's what I want you to do. But she said, as much as I love you, I cannot please you anymore. That's what she said. Because I get it. I really do. And I feel like I know why her mom wants her to be a success and not have to depend on nobody. But I feel like Amara has never fully lived. Even though, she's had the success and fame, she feels she cannot take a break for nothing. Because all this could be taken away easily. So we get to a newcomer, Florence DeLucci. She is the singer of Compa, which is the music of Lil Haiti. And she came up with Haitian rap. No, she performed Haitian rap and created a popular fan base in the Haitian community. She blew up, selling out sold out performances. She traveled to New York, Chile, Montreal. All of this was before the pandemic. So now she has lost the momentum. She lost, maybe not the fan base, but everything has died down. So she's been working her ass off to get back up there. She's even serving drinks at her own restaurant to make sure people are still, seeing her. After she performs, she's in her restaurant working. So then we introduce her husband, Marlon. They've been married for 13 years. They got 3 beautiful boys. and he's a business partner. So she has her own restaurant called La Fuiche, a Haitian Caribbean restaurant located in the heart of Little Haiti. Then we meet her sister Gael. They're both very close, and of course they're already lit. She said, "Listen, I can have one more drink because I'm done. I'm wasted, girl. All right, one more drink, then we can go." So obviously, we see a scene where Florence and her husband, they're short staffed because she's behind the bar serving. They barely got any workers serving. So we need to figure out how to make more money or get more staff because this sucks. So while she's talking to her sister about getting another drink, she peeps and sees her husband having a conversation with another woman, and they're exchanging phones. And she's like, "What's going on over there?" "Oh, we're looking at a bartending company." "Oh, okay. Okay." So after he leaves to go ahead and do some work, she has to double confirm and say, "Listen, there was no exchange of numbers, none at all." So that was a scene for me to know that she doesn't trust her husband, because she said in confessional, "My husband is a very friendly person. He tends to be friendly too much, where it's like, be careful, tread lightly." So we get to Nori. Nori's at a birthday celebration for his wife. She enjoys it. She says it's a much better space than just talking to contractors all day and getting this juice bar up. And it's been over 8 months in construction. Her husband hasn't been supporting. Oh, so we get to see Ray J and Prinky pull up. I like Prinky's dress. It was white and it had the Ankh symbols dangling all around it like tassel shingle dress like Tina Turner. Pretty. So they here. Even Ray J has a confessional. He says, "So what are you doing in Miami?" He said, "Listen, my business in Miami, and it makes it better for me to do business in Miami. But I'm Hollywood for life." You know what I'm saying? "I'm always going to ride for Hollywood." Okay, Ray J. So Nori has known Ray J for years. He's a clown. He loves hanging out with him. They always have wild time together. And Princess and Neri have a conversation because we're working good. We were going through a divorce. The divorce is off. It got real bad, but Ray J said it changed when he turned 40. So now he wants to be a husband and a father. Okay, Ray J, I do not believe you that now, at the age of 40, you want to be a husband? You want to be a father now? I don't believe you. So apparently they don't have a lot of married friends, which I find surprising. Y'all don't hang out with Brandy and Max no more? Erica and A1 of Erica. Lyrica and A1. Y'all don't have no other married friends? Okay. So yeah, so he wants to seek advice. So he wants to pretty much nominate Nori as the married friend. "Oh, I'm the married friend. I never been asked one." I'm honored. So apparently, they don't know where they want to start this out fresh, and he wants to do it right. And Neri and Princess have her coming to heart because they both are married to men in the entertainment industry. They get to leave, make money while the wife is at home with kids, and they feel like what they doing was not wrong, but challenging. "I'm always home all day with the kids. Why can't we find a way for us to do things together, spend more time?" So he's like, "I'm ready to seek advice. We can still drink and smoke." "Okay, we can drink and smoke, but I still come home at the end of the night." Ray J's face from the camera. He don't come home. So yeah, he said we can spend more time together. The kids are getting older. And they want to clarify, "What you mean by coming home?" "Well, I don't stay out all night. I stay in one place for 4 days." That's funny because when I brought my wife to Vegas, you told me you don't bring your wife to Vegas. Ray J, really? Are you playing with us or are you being serious? Sorry. So after that, we get to Ace Hood. Him and his wife, he's working out and she's, "I'm your rain cake, y'all." So, trying to get some zen because she has history with severe depression and anxiety. So she hasn't felt in a very long time. So the fact that it came up, I believe it came up when she had the conversation with Blondie. So he asked, "How you doing?" It's funny how you asked me because around 2:30 this morning, I couldn't sleep. You wasn't around to ask me. Because I'm feeling like my mind is going off a cliff and I feel I need some help. So at the end of the day, she says, "Listen, I don't know why this is new. I've never heard from you. I never lied to you about my anxiety, about my depression. So it's kind of interesting how you dismiss it without trying to fully understand me and support me." He said, "Listen, I never know what to do. I've never seen it. I never experienced this with you before. And I said, okay, is something that she can move on by herself and something she can get through it. When he said that, I was like, that's a little bit not right. But she said, I'm not expecting you to be a therapist. I'm expecting you to still hear me out and support me. But since he doesn't know how to address it or approach it, he just says, you're going to figure it out on your own. And it was definitely through him upbringing. He was raised to not express his emotions, especially for boys growing up. They were taught to shake it off, suck it up, ain't no crying over here. You want something to cry about, I'll whoop you. And that's what he said. My mom and my stepdad's version of trying to discipline us when it came to us crying was, shut up, I'll give you something to cry about. I'll whoop you if you want to keep crying. So his sisters, his brothers, and him were raised to not express their emotions. And if there was something about anxiety coming up, they wouldn't know what it is. So he was born and raised to be emotionally unavailable, which is definitely sad in a black household. My father, especially since we're all girls, so when we would cry, fall, he would say, shake it off. You know what I'm saying? And for a boy, it's the same thing. Shake it off, suck it up, take it on the chin, move on, you good. And he says, "Not my place to judge her, because without knowing exactly what she's feeling, and I need to know how to address it. Since he doesn't know how to associate with himself, he's gonna realize and learn more." And she feels like I want us to have a better relationship with learning other person's feelings, understanding other person's feelings, not dismissing it. You know, let's not go at the past. Let's not go over the past. Let's make it better for the future. I'm happy they had that conversation, because talking through your emotions without it feeling like it's a weak thing to do is really good, especially for men. They find it weak for men to express their opinions, express their emotions, even if they was to be in the verge of crying. It's not to be perceived as weak. It makes you strong that you know where your emotions are. It makes you strong knowing where your feelings are. So she feels like because what happened at the brunch with his mom Blondie, the anxiety was coming up, and she definitely felt like her mom would not have been good in that environment. He said, "Mom's very territorial." She said, "Yes," and I don't know why it's happening. When I came around, it was like, "Oh, I took you," which isn't good. And this narrative that she was taking him is not something that needs to be happening. He said, "My mom doesn't recognize that she's territorial because it was overwhelming." So she wants to have a conversation with her mom, a private conversation about it, so it could be handled differently than would have been in that moment. And she appreciates how her husband's listening to her and they're having this conversation. Excuse me. Oh my God, sorry, excuse me. Sorry, y'all, I'm back. Oh, I'm scary. My bad. Ended up with Florence, and not Florence. Sheila and her husband had a really good conversation, and it's being appreciative. I'm so sorry. So, we're back to Florence. In addition to owning her own restaurant, she's about to open the biggest beauty bar in South Florida. And construction is not done, but she has 2 weeks until the grand opening. She's been promoting the grand opening for the beauty bar for a long time. She's even done a whole lot of lives. She have a 2,000 RSVPs. So they cannot have the date moved. Apparently, sorry, 1 second. That's better. So apparently, they moved the date before because construction wasn't done. But looking inside, the construction is still not done. It hasn't been painted. Still got some molding. Some crown molding needs to be fixed and covered up. So she feels like this is a very important. This is very important to me, and I feel like if I move it, that's gonna push me back some. Because apparently, since it's opened up in 2 weeks, it's falling on Haiti Flag Day, which is a big deal for the Haitian community. Since her fan base is of the Haitian community and she's of Haitian culture, I want to be sure this is for them. This is good. And the fact that the place is not aesthetically appealing, she has an interview with the biggest blogger of the Haitian community. So, a way for her to get her music back on track and to promote the grand opening of the beauty bar. So, obviously, she's trying to find a nice, quiet place to have the interview where the background doesn't look as bad. So, the interview starts with a woman, and they want to know, who is Florence? Who is she? She used to go to school in Haiti, and she will always remember brushing people's hair, doing it, and also singing in the microphone. Her father passed away when she was 4 years old, and when her mom had the job to do, her mom pretty much, had to be a single parent all by herself. And she came to America with no papers, no money, and she worked very hard to get to where she was at. Even with the pandemic, it's success. You know what I'm saying? So she wants to make a name, and I appreciate that. I really do. And then we're back to Nori, because at the midst of her having an interview, one of the workers started drilling, made it very loud. I'm like, that's no good. That's not good. That's really embarrassing. That you cannot have a pretty nice interview in the place where you want to have your business. I hate that. So Nori invites Ray J and Princess over for a couple time because even Nori and Neri don't know any married people. So they're going to have the men cook. The men don't know what they're doing. Don't know how to make a salmon. Don't know how to not clean. Don't know how to prepare a meal. You guys are hopeless. And I'm shocked at you. Actually, never mind. I'm not shocked. Not shocked at neither one of y'all. Y'all are some spoiled men. So Neri is talking to Princess about her juice bar, or how it's been over 8 months and construction still isn't done, and she's not feeling no supportive from Nori. So she's trying to find, trying to get her permits done, because that's pretty much holding it back from it being completed, and it's supposed to be opening in July. So Princess can recognize the rundown of trying to open a business very, very hard, because I forgot about that she tried to open up a nail salon on her season of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and she was over $50,000 in the hole, and nothing was done. She had to spend over 100 grand, and she was still paying the rent for it, but the business wasn't open. I'm like, why would they slap you with the rent if the business wasn't open? You should have pretty much the entire time of the building being open to construction and getting done. Then once the business opens, then you go ahead paying. That's crazy how they still stuck her with a $5,000 rent for a business that's not even open. That's crazy. And Neri's doing the exact same thing. I'm like, y'all, how y'all paying for a business that's not open? You already paying for the business of being built, but yet you're paying for the business of being open? That's crazy. So she pretty much trying to understand, like, why is this happening? And she doesn't want it to be a waste because Nori is not being supportive. He feels like it's not being a waste of money. And she spent all this money. She's doing it by herself. And her husband does not want to be supportive of it. And we can see why. So we're back to Florence. She's at home cooking breakfast with her 3 boys, very handsome boys. And family time is really important to her, because when she's in the studio, when she's at the restaurant, she spends time away. But when she gets that opportunity, she always makes it worth it. So her husband comes home. They're all sitting down having breakfast, and they ask, how'd you guys meet? They met at a club. So Marlon came with this very coy way of playing a line and acted as if he did not have his phone, so he wanted to use her phone to call without realizing his phone was in his pocket the whole time. This is just his way of trying to get her number, get her attention. And that was pretty much, all ends from there. It was a Cinderella moment from that. And he was just trying to let his boys know, you never know when you can find that one. It can happen at the blink and you're just set. Because then his dad had to remember, I had a lot of girls back in the day, but your mom was the one. Florence's face was like, yeah, a lot of girlfriends at the time, huh? Oh, she just knows her husband ain't shit. She just know it. And every time he brings up another woman, she has that face. Y'all still bring up other women? Stop doing that. Amara, they're still in the DR. She's walking around her mother's old neighborhood, and it was very hard living. It was suffering, it was gangs, it was shootings. A lot of people were drinking alcohol, fighting all the time. So she felt like, I had to get out. I had to get out. Because Amara and her mom had a conversation, everything's got cooled down. So now seeing where her old grounds was at, she really is appreciative of it. At the end of the day, the words that her mom said are weighing heavy on her. So her mom left the Dominican Republic when she was 17. And she had to make it to the United States. She had to, because she wanted to get out of there and make a life for herself. And her mom was like, and Amara's like, how did you do it? She said, by the grace of God. I had a mind in my head, I had a plan in my mind, and it worked through it. And she said, I can't even imagine you leaving your own country at 17 with no money, no family, no help, but you made it out. That's how it works. We never know the works of man. You know what I'm saying? We never know the strength and faith of a person to do what they wanted to do, and it works. And that's why she wanted to give her the best that she could. And she's appreciative of that. It's super appreciative. And I feel like Amara has definitely blessed her mom with that. Her mom stopped working. She has her own business. She's in a big ass house. So her mom wanted her to enjoy the things that she could not give you when she was poor. She wanted to do that. And I feel like that's what's happening. As much as I've accomplished so much, all the fame, I always try to stay humble. And I'm grateful for you, but I'm loving this place. She said, listen, all your good experiences and everything, I don't want you to sacrifice anything. But she feels so connected to the area where her mom was from. But she wants you to have everything you have in Miami. You could still love the DR. You could still travel here, but she doesn't want you to live here. I mean, can you grow in the Dominican Republic? What can you do? If her mom felt like this wasn't a place for me to live my life, I had to go to the United States because I could make more of success there than what I'm making here. Can it be what it was? A DR be a tourist spot, not a main place of living? You could still have a life here in the DR, but don't make it your main life. Don't make it your soul life. So with Sheila is having a late Mother's Day picnic with her mom because she wasn't there because she wanted her mom to be safe in the environment because her mom also battles with severe anxiety and depression as well. So she was telling her about her accomplishments and everything, and up until it got to the nitty gritty. So growing up, her mom and her dad were divorced when she was 3. And her mom left and married a white man and had more white children. So she felt like it was challenging and frustrating and confusing being the only black kid in the household. What I want to understand from that is she asked her mom, was you ashamed of me being black? I don't think her mom answered, to be honest. I don't think she did. Because she's biracial, which I never would have pegged. Because I see nothing in Sheila except for her being black. And her mom, I don't know what her nationality her mom is, but I think her mom can't just be just white. It's something else. So, she would grow up and everybody else looks like her mom and nobody would look like her. And she obviously was grateful that her mom didn't know how to raise a black child because she didn't know how hard it would have been. Yeah. Yeah, she said she was grateful that her mom didn't know how to raise a black child. So she was very angry growing up as a teenager, lashing out her mom, like, how could you not know how to raise me? How could you not go about that? And she didn't even know how to connect with her white family. She didn't know how to connect with her. She didn't know she had black family over here. So she was pretty much in the middle of not knowing where she fit in. And she felt like you was ashamed of me. And I felt like being black was bad. Like it was a defect for me. It was wrong to be black. And I never thought that it would be. But now I'm proud to be a black woman. Because apparently her dad lived 5 hours away from family. And she definitely felt in an island by herself. Because she didn't know she had family here. And she didn't know how to connect with family over there. The one thing that I wanted to understand in this, I felt like Sheila is the main one, understanding where her anger was, understanding her frustration was, understanding what it felt like. But her mom is, I can't even tell if her mom was crying, she was dabbing her eye, but I felt like her mom wasn't showing no type of emotion and no type of sympathy for me. She didn't even hug her, she didn't even tell her why, because I didn't get the reason why. Not from Sheila's perspective. No, I didn't. Because I felt like you had a black child. Wouldn't you have already have been privy to learning how to raise a biracial child? So the fact that you, to me, couldn't handle with raising a black child, you had to hurry up and leave her behind and go ahead and find you a white man and have a white baby, which made it easy for you. It didn't sit well for me in that scene because I felt like this is what was going on right now. All the other nationalities that want to procreate with us but then be upset with the struggles that comes with raising a child that's both white and black, or Mexican and black, or this and black. Y'all get upset. This is what happens when you create a mixed race. You have to let them know where they come from, and you have to know how to handle how they come from. What they come from. Handle a different texture of hair. Handle to know the skin type, skin color. You gotta learn how to handle that. You just can't be like, oh, I cannot wait to have a baby by a black man and have one and don't know what to do. I felt like that was a bad decision. I felt like that wasn't any accountability that the mom took. Not to me. I felt like the mom didn't take no accountability as to why she did not be the mom that Sheila expected her to be. But Sheila also apologize for putting that type of pressure on her mom for trying to not raise her what she expected her to be. But I wanted to understand where the mom came from, because the mom just sat there and let Sheila express her feelings, but the mom didn't say nothing. And I feel like, is she this socially depressed that she cannot express her feelings, or is she socially awkward, or was it the cameras? I don't know. But I wanted to hear from the mom, because I wanted to understand, how could you have a black child but completely leave her behind because you didn't know how to raise her? Then you shouldn't have had a black child. You should not create a baby with a black man if you did not know how to deal with the fact of having a child that's from two races. If you did not know how to go about it. To me, that's what it was. You can't just, looking at the pictures, it was a clear difference. Her white sis over there, and Sheila is a chocolate girl over here. I don't know. It's something in that scene just did not sit with me. With the fact that Sheila was the main one, recognizing where her feelings was coming from, and her mom did not say nothing. It was something about that. I don't know. So at the end of all of that, she tells her about her miscarriage and how she really wanted a baby. And she was the first person that she thought of when she had the miscarriage, to get her support on it. But like I said, we'll see what happens after that. So, Amara's packing up to go to Miami. So is her mom, and she wants to have a conversation with Alan before she leaves. So she's probably not feeling it. She's not trying to hear nothing what he got to say. So they go upstairs, and she tells him, "Listen, Mama's going back to Miami. I'm going back too. Can you give us a ride to the airport?" In that type of word. He's like, "What? Listen, I need to go back home, make sure my mom is okay financially. Got to handle some few in my music, and I'll be back." He is definitely in his feelings about, why would you do that? What's up? So what's going on? Listen, this wasn't my plan, but I need to make sure my mama is good. So I will be back. I'm not staying permanently. I will be back. He is in his feelings like, oh my God, you leaving me for your mama? Okay, fine, go. Like Martin, step. I'm like, you are really an asshole right now. Like, he has this nasty attitude without being understanding. How could you not understand where she's coming from? It's been Amara and her mom this entire time. She's always made sure that her mama is good. You should be understanding of that. You want to make sure your mama's good, your daughter's good, right? So her going for a few days to make sure everything is good should not affect your relationship. Y'all have probably never spent a minute alone with each other. But I feel like he wants to hop onto her, success. He wants to absorb the success that she has with this investment business and make it about him and boost his business. Amara's mom is definitely want to make sure her daughter's all to herself, but she doesn't want her daughter to make mistakes. But you have to let the umbilical cord go. You have to cut it. Cut the umbilical cord. Cut it. It's not going to be stretching any more than what it already is. And he's like, you're 30 years old. Make a decision. I feel like she is right now. She's telling you, I need to go home and handle some things, and I'll be back. And she's all trying to console him. But I love you. I love you. And he's like, listen, I'll try to be understanding, but this is some bullshit. You're going to let your mom come between us? This all started with your mom. No, this all started because her mom made Amara make sense. Her mom made Amara think. You will never do the same thing that she would do. You want her to take everything she's ever done, all the work, to come in and be a Susie homemaker with you? No. She said, listen, I want us to get married. I want us to have kids, but I feel like I need to make sure I'm 1,000% sure of what I'm doing. This is a mistake I cannot make, which I can understand. So at the end of the day, are you going to give me a ride to the airport? He said, no, I'll call you an Uber. He gives her a cheek. She says, fine. I feel like, Amara, you don't need to waste your time with this man. The fact that he was this upset about you going home, make sure you take care of your mother. He wanted to make sure he had you all to himself, or you had nobody else to get any support from but him. You would have been alone in the DR with no other family, and since your mom is the only family that you have, you would have been alone, so alone, and that wouldn't have been cool. So we're in there with Florence. She's on her Instagram promoting her beauty bar, and it's all going good. Her sister's like, "Is this gonna be finished in time?" So yes, it will be finished. It will be done. Don't worry about it. So she's been noticing that my husband has been coming home, and he has been coming home lately. He hasn't been spending time with the kids like he used to. I feel like he is pushing himself away from me. And her sister said, "So you think he's doing something?" Yes, I think he's doing something. And we found out he used to mess with some girls back in Haiti. When she found out, he told her it was temptation. I don't believe him. And he said he's never going to do it again. And every time when he promised everything was going to be fine, it's a lie. Said it's a lie. This is she said, "You killing you for what? For this bullshit. What you killing yourself for?" Then her sister lays down a bomb. "You know he fucked my girlfriend?" She's like, "What the fuck you talking about?" "He fucked my bitch." I was like, "Well, you mean that? Do you mean your friend girlfriend or your partner? Like, what did that mean when you said your girlfriend? I wanted to know exactly what that meant. Your girlfriend, or this is just my girl." She was like, "What? Nah." I honestly felt like when the sister told her, it solidified Flo's, what's the word, suspicions, because her husband has been coming home. He's been out in the studio. He's been out at the restaurant. He has been around. But since he has done this before, she has recognized it. And I think the sister did not want to say nothing until she got further confirmation, or she knows how her sister can be when it comes to something to do with her husband, even though she knows her husband more than he knows himself. So she can tell and pick up signs. So this just double confirms that. We gonna see what happens, because she gonna try to confront him and see what he gonna say. I definitely think Marlon is doing something, because he always looks suspicious. He looks suspicious with the scene with the girl at the bar. Suspicious about not coming home, and it's like, where do you need to go? Why aren't you at the restaurant? What else do you need to do? Because I feel like Florence is handling all sorts of hats. Business owner, music, everything. So why are you lacking? What are you doing? Yeah, I could tell. I could definitely tell. So we can't wait. Stay tuned for what's happening next. I'm going to see you guys later. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Bye.